friends, Jerry Rosa here in the Rosa Stringworks Workshop with a video short today. I just wanted to tell you about the status of my internet service and what I've done to finally improve it again. Let me give you a quick history of the internet service here on the farm. We bought this farm in 1998 and there was nothing here at that time, of course. You could barely even get phone service. Well, we started out with satellite internet service. I'm not going to mention any company names, but we had one for a while, several years. Then we switched to a different satellite company. Both of them were really bad. One was worse than the other, but I'm not sure which one that was. They were both really bad. So that took us into several years there that we had those satellite services. Then finally, I heard that they were offering extended DSL out in this area, which is basically watered down DSL. It's roughly, I think, about half the speed of the normal DSL. And that would have been fine if it would have lived up to that, but it didn't out here. Our phone lines were so bad that the static was so heavy that we just couldn't barely use that even. Then I heard about wave internet service, which is basically a radio tower beaming from Rolla, Missouri all the way out here, which is, I don't know, as the crow flies, probably about 12 or so miles. And I actually built and installed a 65-foot tall tower and I had to put it up on top of one of my tallest hills and beam the signal from town to that tower, then from that tower down to my farm. That was quite an undertaking. It was expensive, etc., and it worked a lot better than even the extended DSL. But even that was still a whopping 3 up and a whopping 3 down. That's the best I could get. It was unlimited, so that was good, but it was 3 megabytes up, 3 megabytes down, and that was it. So then we had that for several years, and I had that when I started my YouTube channel. Then I heard about the cell tower service, and I started looking into those, and I wasn't too sure about those, whether that would work well or not. I went with 4G antenna systems, and at first it worked a little better than the wave internet, but it wasn't great. And it turned out it was all signal related. Once I figured out how to improve my signal out here, and I'm going to get into that, that's what this video is about, then the 4G antenna service worked awesome. I was getting 30 megabits down and 12 or so up, which was just wonderful for being out here in the middle of nowhere. And that worked great for years and years and years up until around the end of last year, end of 2020. And then it went straight in the toilet. And I worked with them, and at the beginning, they were very good to work with. I don't know what story is. I have no idea. I just have suspicions that either the company changed hands, somebody got greedy, I don't know, or maybe they had lost contracts with their cell towers. I don't know what happened. But anyway, that service went in the toilet and it couldn't be fixed. It was bad. So then I switched to Nomad, which is another cell tower provider. The biggest mistake I ever made was going with Nomad. I'm sorry, I am naming their name, but it was pitiful. It was expensive, and their modem, the moment I got the modem out of the box, I almost sent it back right then, because you could just look at the modem and tell it was just a cheap piece of crap. It was just crap. And the service worked like that too. So I had Nomad for a month or so there, and then I tried to go to AT&T and get them to do something, but AT&T is just not that. I worked for AT&T for 27 and a half years, so it surprises me that they're not more customer-oriented in the internet market. It just doesn't make sense to me. And out here, at least, they just didn't have anything to offer me and weren't willing. They wouldn't even call me back. I called like 4, 5, 6 times, and I couldn't even get a call back. Just terrible service. It's just horrible. So I said, well, sorry, even though I retired from AT&T, I'm not going to do them either. So I went to T-Mobile. Well, T-Mobile gave me a little test kit to try it, and test kit worked pretty good. It wasn't nearly as good as what I had with the 4G, but it was pretty good. And so Pretty good is better than nothing. I've had T-Mobile now for the last 3 or so months, and it hasn't been very good, to be honest with you. The download works pretty good, but the upload was just terrible. And it was all signal related. I knew that it was signal related. That part, so I never bothered calling T-Mobile and complaining because I knew it wasn't their fault. It's that we're in such a deep valley here, and the cell towers don't hit us very well, that I knew that that was the issue. So that's what the video is about. I want to show you what I've done to improve the service. It's back up to pretty darn good. I don't know if it's quite good enough for me to be able to do a live stream. I'm going to be testing that though in the next few days. But right now, let me just show you what kind of speeds I'm getting in this. I haven't tested it this morning, so this morning it may prove me different, but I'll show you what we're getting. It takes too long to run this on camera, so I just ran Test My Net. It's actually testmy.net. It's one of the speed tests that you can do. And it shows that I had 15.2 megabits down and 3.9 megabits up. It's probably not legible on your screen. I can't zoom in anymore, and I can't move this thing any further. But anyway, that's what I got this morning, 15.2 and 3.9. So I might just add that we do have a house full of company up there, and everybody happens to have something on the internet. So, that's not bad considering how much use it's getting right now. Now, let me show you the components of this system, and let me show you how I put it together to improve the signal. Because prior to me improving this, which you just saw what it is, I was getting about anywhere from 3 to 5 on the download, and like a 0.2 or a 0.3 on the upload. So, and that's absolutely not even usable. You can't even use it when you're, trying to upload a video. The system just shuts down, basically. So that's what it was before I upgraded it. Now let me just show you what I did to improve the signal. Okay, we're in the office, and I've got the camera pointed up to a little shelf that I built. I set that the round silver deal here, that's the actual T-Mobile modem and router. And the white thing on the wall, or the cream colored thing on the wall, is the cell phone signal booster, and I believe it's a Wilson. Honestly, I don't remember the brand. It's a pretty good one though. It's an expensive one. It costs in the neighborhood of $600. So it's expensive. I set the T-Mobile thing close to that. And the truth was, I wasn't getting a very good signal even then. And I'll show you outside what I've done to change how I improve the signal. And that's made all the difference, is what I did outside. But I just wanted to show you that first, that I actually have the modem router sitting right next to the cell phone signal booster. This might get a little confusing, so listen close. We're outside the shop. There's my actual wood shop down there where I build the instruments and repair the instruments. This is the metal shop. And up here on this tower, you can see 2 antennas. Now, I had a signal booster a while back, and it's a different make and model, and I was using those antennas up there to talk to that signal booster, and I actually had the modems sitting in this window right here. Anyway, make a long story short, that's for the old signal booster. I put the new Wilson antenna on this pole, but without taking the pole all the way down, I couldn't get it that high. So I only had it up about so high, about right in here. I had the antenna for the Wilson, for that one you just saw a moment ago. Anyway, that just wasn't working. It wasn't cutting it. I wasn't getting a good enough signal to improve the T-Mobile service. So here's what I did. You can look down at this end and probably see a tower there in the distance. Let me see if I can zoom it in. You can see the tower there on that end of the building. And that is now the antenna for the Wilson system, and I ran the wires through the whole building and back into the office where you just saw. And I ran them through the attic there. let's go around and I'll show you a couple more details on this antenna and show you how it was put together. Okay, here's a look at it from this end of the building. You can see a guy wire down here. I'm going to cut that post off much lower to the ground. But anyway, that guy wire going up to my pole. The pole is anchored on top of that concrete right there. It's attached to the building right there. I'm trying to hold that still. And then it goes on up another probably close to 30 feet to that deal there. So this antenna, from the ground, from ground level right there to the top of the antenna, I would say is about 46 feet, 45 feet for sure. And the big advantage is what I've done here, and that is now we're shooting straight down the valley. When you go to the far end of this building, which the building's over 100 feet long, you're shooting into that hill there and trying to cut across that hill through those trees, and the signal just was getting knocked out. Now I'm above the trees and I'm shooting right down this valley, and the towers are all up in that, all the towers are up on the far hillside way back over there. So it's probably at least a mile or 2 miles to the towers, but now I'm getting a reasonable signal. And it was a lot of work, don't get me wrong, but I have equipment to set a pole like that. I used my Bobcat and the high lift, and then I'm going to show you a tool that I built for the front of the Bobcat to lift things up real high. But this thing here hooks onto the bucket of the Bobcat in 3 places, and then it's really long, and it's about 16 feet long. So if the Bobcat can reach up, 11 feet or so, then you add another 16 feet to that, so that'll give you some idea how high I can reach. So that's how I was able to put this really tall pole up on the building. One more notable thing I thought you might enjoy to know is this pole was just in the woods, and I'm way up on this hill, way up here, and someone had put it up there years and years ago, probably 50 years ago at least, for TV antenna service, and they ran the TV antenna wires down through the woods to the house. And so that pole had fallen over. It was just up there in the woods laying across a bunch of trees and things. So I salvaged it, brought it down here, gave it a good fresh coat of paint, and put it in place, and it has new life as my internet antenna. So my friends, that's my internet story, and it's definitely improved, and in the next day or two we will see if we can't do a live broadcast and see how that works now. I'm not expecting too much because 3 or 4 up is not great, but I think it's on the edge of workable. So we'll give it a try in a few days here and see how it goes. Thanks for watching.